Approximately around the 6th century AD, in an area in the valley of the river Malaprabha, the Chalukyas established a town called Aihole. The town is also famous because Parshuram, the avatar of the Hindu god Vishnu, came to wash his axe at the river Malaprabha after slaying over 1,000 warriors. Today, the town is essentially a village, prominent for the over 100 temples scattered all over the town. Temple construction in its most rudimentary form started first at Aihole, moved on to Badami, and can be seen in its most finished form at Pattadakal. The trio of towns containing over 150 temples is collectively known as the Cradle of Indian temple architecture. In Aihole, for the first time, the use of stone as a medium of construction was established and went on to become the medium of construction for all temples across India. Hindu temple architecture spread all over South Asia and through many parts of Southeast Asia. Several elements of architectural style originated at Aihole and evolved with time. Given the importance of the embryonic experiments with temple architecture at Aihole, the town has a considerable historic significance. Aihole today is mostly a temple town with over 100 temples strewn all over the town. In many places, village houses are cheek by jowl with the heritage structure, so in many places carrying a map will be very useful. There is limited social infrastructure. A restaurant run by Karnataka Tourism's Chalukya hotels is one of the few facilities where one can have lunch in a more or less standard restaurant. The village is usually accessed from Badami, which is located at a distance of approximately 35 kilometers. The oldest temple at Aihole is Lard Khan Temple, which lies inside the gated ASI complex of monuments. The temple was originally constructed as an open hall for village gatherings and converted into a temple. Thus, the sanctuary is a chamber placed awkwardly against the wall within the mandapa. The flat roof appears to be derived from a thatched structure. The porch and the walls of the temple are provided with decorated carvings. The Lard Khan temple is significant because it is one of the first experiments in temple construction that began at Aihole. A step well with sculptures represents the kind of water body seen in almost every significant temple complex in the town of Aihole. Adjacent to the Lard Khan temple are the Surya temple, Gaudar Gudi and Chakra Gudi, which represent slightly more evolved constructions of standalone temples. A few meters away is a rudimentary archaeological museum. The last and most significant temple in this ASI gated complex is the Durga temple. The temple is the principal attraction and by far is the largest monument in the town. The temple is a unique Hindu adaptation of the Buddhist temples. The apsidal-ended layout derives from rock-cut Buddhist Chaitya halls going back to the 2nd and 1st centuries BCE. The temple also introduces the concept of a processional passage created a colonnade of a veranda around the building. This veranda is provided with niches containing carved sculptures, regarded among the greatest masterpieces of early Chalukyan art. The inner porch of the Durga temple is elaborately decorated. The doorway to the mandapa is the most elaborate at Aihole. After leaving the gated ASI temple complex, there are several temple complexes in and around the town worth exploring. A steep climb up the Meguti hill takes one to the Jain temple. On top of the hill, the Jain temple is one of the first Dravidian temples of Aihole. A few steps below is a 2-storied Buddhist temple. The first temple complex immediately below Meguti Hill is the Mallikarjuna temple complex. Its main shrine subsidiary shrines, stepwell, and decorated gateway are representations of typical temple architecture of Aihole. From here, a few meters from the main road, is the Huchi Malgudi temple complex. The Huchi Malgudi is one of the earlier temples in the temple town of Aihole. The temple has all the components of a reasonably well-evolved temple. Its distinguishing feature is a rudimentary intermediate chamber. A short walk from the Huchi Malgudi is the Ravanavhadi cave temple. The mandapa of the temple has several prominent sculptures. On the left side of the mandapa is an elaborate sculpture of a 10-armed Shiva. Inside the town, on the other side of the main road, is the Gauri temple complex. The 4 columns in the middle of the mandapa are the main feature of this temple. A screen wall creates a vestibule between the mandapa and the shrine. Directly opposite is the Jain complex, consisting of 2 Jain temples linked by an open porch. The temple on the western side has 3 sanctuaries facing a common mandapa. The main sanctuary of this temple contains an imposing polished basalt image of Lord Parshavarnatha seated on a lion throne. Closer to the ASI gated Durga temple complex are a number of temple complexes. The Ambigere Gudi complex is located opposite. A few meters away is the Rachi Gudi, a temple that contains a trio of Linga sanctuaries. And adjacent to the Rachi Gudi is the Eniyara temple complex consisting of temples from the 11th century AD. The last few temple complexes can be seen on the way back to Badami. The first one is one of the oldest temple complexes, the Kont Gudi temple complex. The Kont Gudi temple complex consists of 4 temples. The original Kont Gudi temple is linked to smaller temples by a free-standing porch. There are 2 other shrines in this complex. A short walk away, on the main road, is the Huchapaya Matha temple. The temple has 4 elaborately carved columns in its facade. On the inside of the mandapa are 3 fine ceiling panels. The last 2 temple complexes are the Galagnatha temple complex, Ramalingeshwar temple complex. The Galagnatha temple complex contains temples developed from the 6th century AD to the 12th century AD. The main shrine is a simple one with a stepped pyramidal tower. A freestanding decorated portal forms a gateway to an area with several small shrines. The last destination in Aihole is the Ramalingeshwara temple complex. On the banks of the Malaprabha river, this is a living temple complex. The entrance portal has sculptures of dancing Shiva and 2 lions on top of the lintel. The main temple of the complex has 3 shrines. A subsidiary shrine containing Parshurama's footsteps has been created on the banks of the river. Aihole represents experiments in development of a new form of temple architecture. All stages of evolution in temple architecture can be seen within this remarkable ensemble of temples. The town represents embryonic evolution of temple architecture in India. This completes the video tour of Aihole. If you liked this tour and found it useful, visit us at extolindia.com. If you are visiting the monument, please download our audio guide app, Extol India, available on Google Play and the iStore. Until then, happy experiencing with Extol India.